Now I know it's been a while, but we're back, and I'm back to see if I can fix the switch on this vintage turntable. So let's get into it straight away. I bought this vintage receiver to go more with the trio receiver that I got. However, there are problems naturally. And the first thing you might notice is there's no cartridge on here, but that is not a big problem. I will be purchasing one. But the one thing I want to take a look at today is this switch, because apparently it doesn't switch off. So we need to take a look. So let's get into it without further ado. All right, so let's take the mat off. Then I think it's just a firm, here we are, firm pull, and out it comes. That's the platter off as well. So it's all quite concealed here, nothing major there. Now, obviously I've got to turn this upside down, and that's going to potentially put pressure on this arm, so I've got to be careful. So let's have a look at it. Underneath, the weight just fell off. There we are. Put this down gently. But the one thing I'm noticing already is these two screws here are up. Oh, this one is as well. This one is. Oh, a lot of these screws are already off or up. So that tells me somebody's already had a look. Oh, that's thin. That is really thin. Put that down here to be safe. And use the switch down here. Right, that's interesting. So this is just turning this here. Ah, right, this micro switch is here as well. So if I lift it up, you're just about to see it's pressing these micro switches here. So that's off. So the micro switches are off. So when the micro switches are pressed, that would be off because it's in the center, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, off is center. So that's on, and that's on. So that's 45 and 33. No, 33 is up top, so that's 33 and that's 45. So if it's not switching off, that is going to be an issue with these micro switches here. Now, what is going on here? We've got, do these look new? So the micro switch is coming in. Let me get you in a bit further, a bit closer even. So you got on the top yellow and white, on the bottom blue and red, and they all come over to here. So there's the white, there's the yellow, there's the blue, and there's the red. All come to this little circuit board here, and then they come off there over to here, where they go over into the motor. All pretty simple, straightforward stuff to look at. And there's nothing wrong with simple. My mother tells me that all the time. Right. I think first thing I need to do is to see it in action, really, but this came with no plug. So I'm going to put a plug on it, which I've got here. Not going to show you that. I'm going to spare you that bit of excitement. Okay, so got the plug on. Just get it plugged in and see what's what. Right, see that's turning and it's not supposed to. It's off. So we need to unplug it now. Get it back over. Gently, gently, gently. Right. So these switches, when pressed, we break in the continuity. So we get the multimeter out, bring it back out slightly so you can see. Right, let me get these covers off a minute. Right, there's no continuity on that top one. So there's going to be one for the one speed and one for the other speed, I imagine. Right, so that's for that speed, which is 33, I believe. Right, okay, I was wrong then. Nothing spectacularly new there. What if I put that in the middle though? Right, it's continuity there. There's no continuity there. Why is it still staying on then? So it's clearly something wrong here then. It's getting constant power. And why is it getting constant power? See now, I don't know if that was actually making any difference. How does that change the speed then? I can't see it doing anything other than obviously switching that off. So that's off, obviously. But how does this know any different year on year? How is this telling the motor to go 44 or 33? Just moves this gear here. Does something here. What do it do? How does that slow the motor down then? So if we put this on here. Right, it doesn't slow the motor down. The motor speed doesn't actually change, I don't think. I just think the gearing does. Right, so I plugged it back in, and I was right. The motor itself doesn't change speed. If you look very carefully, this lever moves the belt up and down. So it goes faster there, slower there. But on a off position, it's staying at 33. No, it's just staying wherever the last one was. It's not moving the lever. So that's how it works, but why isn't this switching off? So I'm going to unplug it again now. Take the platter off and the belt. Right. This is confusing me because these switches are working, so it's obviously getting a constant feed where it shouldn't be. I'm going to go away, stop melting, and whilst I'm stopping to melt, I'm going to see if I can find a service book for one of these, because something is obviously wrong here, but what is the question? So bear with, I will be back. Right, it's a new day, it's a new day. I've been having a look at the schematic on this. Now, as I said previously, or as you saw previously, the speed is governed by the size of the pulley, because there's 2 gears on it and the arm lifts the belt up and down. It's that simple. So I was having a look at the schematic. Now, I'm no expert with schematics, right? I am learning, but I am no expert. But it seems to be you've got power coming in here. Now you've got 2 paths really. You've got the path with the resistor and the capacitor, and you've got a parallel path through the switch. Now, electricity takes the path of least resistance. So if that switch is closed, then it's going to flow through there, power's going to be on. If it's open, it's got to go through here. And I'm wondering if the resistance and the capacitor bring the power down to switch it off. That's my theory. I'm not saying that's rooted in any sort of accuracy or whatever, but that's what I'm going with. So what I'm going to do is change these, although they do look new. So CO3, CO1, and CO2. COO2, sorry. So COO1 is a 0.0033 microfarad. So is COO2, and COO3 is 0.47. So what I'm going to do, just pop this board out. Just give it a little squeeze. I'm not going to. There we are. So these two are 0.033. Oof, this has had some work as well, hasn't it? Look at that. These are new, aren't they? Look, they've taken the pad up. So they are new. I'm going to change them anyway. Alright, so first off, let's take this one off. So here we go. So what I'm going to be putting in, these. open that up and give it a snip. IP8. Just get that old flux off. And the new flux. Not quite happy with that soldering joint there. Now I am. Okie doke. Let's spin him over. Put him back in its spot. Gently. Right. Let's see if my idea had any success. Answers on a postcard. Do you think I've won or not? Probably not. Probably not. But we can try, can't we? So let's plug him in. Oh, it's off. Yes! Get in there. Have a look now. On. Off. On. Off. On. Off. Brilliant. Ho ho. Ho ho ho. I'm well happy with that now. That means I can start shopping for bits and bobs that I need now to get this going. So I will do a little update video on this at some point. But for now, I am chuffed. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I am back. Different location, as you can tell, but let's get on it. And I'll see you soon. Ta-ra now.